Tony Stark revels in his new identity as Iron Man. At the Stark Expo in Flushing Meadows, Tony makes a grand entrance, flying in his suit and landing to the roar of the crowd. The Expo, a revival of his father's vision for the future, showcases cutting-edge technology from Stark Industries and other innovators. Tony's charisma and humor captivate the audience, but behind the charm lies a hidden struggle. The palladium core in his arc reactor, the very thing keeping him alive, is also poisoning him. His blood toxicity has reached 19%, a slow but certain death sentence. Despite this, Tony pushes forward, determined to mask his vulnerability. The grandeur of the Expo contrasts sharply with Tony's inner turmoil, setting the stage for his complex journey. Tony's public success attracts government scrutiny. At a Senate hearing, Senator Stern demands that Tony hand over the Iron Man technology, claiming it poses a national security risk. Tony, ever the showman, mocks the proceedings by hacking into the presentation screens. He displays footage of rival nations failing to replicate his tech, emphasizing their incompetence. Justin Hammer, Tony's business rival, seethes with envy as Tony outshines him. Colonel James Rhodes, Tony's friend and military liaison, is caught in the middle, torn between loyalty to his country and his friend. Tony's arrogance dominates the room, but it also sows seeds of resentment. His refusal to cooperate paints a target on his back, with Hammer and the government now more determined than ever to undermine him. As Tony's blood toxicity worsens, so does his recklessness. He hides his condition from everyone, including Pepper Potts, his trusted assistant. Tony's attempt to keep up appearances grows increasingly futile, and his erratic behavior raises concerns. Feeling the weight of his impending mortality, Tony appoints Pepper as CEO of Stark Industries. The decision, though logical, catches her off guard, adding strain to their relationship. Meanwhile, Tony hires Natasha Romanoff as his new assistant, a move that adds mystery and tension. Unbeknownst to Tony, Natasha has a hidden agenda that will later come to light. The introduction of Natalie, coupled with Tony's declining health, injects intrigue and sets up a series of pivotal events. Seeking distraction and adrenaline, Tony heads to Monaco with Pepper and Natalie. At the Grand Prix, Tony impulsively decides to race, a move fueled by his growing sense of invincibility and despair. The sleek F1 cars roaring around the track create a sense of excitement, but the thrill is short-lived. Ivan Vanko, now fully armed with his electrified whips, storms onto the track. The chaos he unleashes is both shocking and brutal, as cars are sliced apart and the crowd flees in terror. Tony's car is destroyed, leaving him vulnerable. But as the tension peaks, Pepper and Happy Hogan arrive with Tony's portable suitcase armor. The ensuing battle between Tony and Vanko is fierce, with sparks flying and metal clashing. Tony ultimately defeats Vanko, but the encounter leaves him shaken and aware of the growing threats against him. Ivan's attack lands him in prison, but his mission is far from over. Justin Hammer, seeing an opportunity to humiliate Tony, fakes Ivan's death and orchestrates his escape. Hammer recruits Ivan to build a line of drones that can outshine Iron Man. Ivan, however, has his own agenda. While pretending to comply with Hammer's demands, he secretly works on a plan to exact his revenge on Tony. Meanwhile, Tony's personal life spirals further out of control. At his birthday party, he dons the Iron Man suit and gets drunk, turning the celebration into chaos. His behavior forces Rhodes to intervene, leading to a destructive fight between the two friends. Their clash, marked by the use of repulsor blasts, leaves both physically and emotionally damaged. Rhodes, disillusioned with Tony's behavior, takes the Mark II suit and delivers it to the military. Hammer eagerly steps in to modify the suit, adding advanced weaponry in an attempt to impress the government. Tony, now isolated and grappling with his mortality, retreats further into himself. His downward spiral is interrupted by the arrival of Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fury reveals that Natalie is actually Natasha Romanoff, an undercover agent. He also provides Tony with a clue from his father's past, a blueprint for a new element that could save his life. Fury's intervention marks a turning point for Tony, reigniting his sense of purpose. Using his father's notes, Tony discovers a hidden message in the 1974 Stark Expo diorama. The clue leads him to synthesize a new element, a process that is both grueling and transformative. The new core not only eliminates the palladium poisoning but also revitalizes Tony, both physically and emotionally. With his newfound energy, Tony refocuses on his mission as Iron Man. Meanwhile, Ivan completes his drones, preparing for a grand attack at the Stark Expo. The stage is set for a climactic showdown, with stakes higher than ever. At the Stark Expo, Justin Hammer unveils the drones, showcasing them as the pinnacle of military technology. Rhodes, now in the heavily armed Mark II suit, leads the demonstration. However, Ivan hijacks the drones and Rhodes' suit, turning them against Tony. The expo descends into chaos as explosions erupt and terrified civilians scramble for safety. Tony, in his new armor, battles the drones with relentless determination. The action is intense and fast-paced, with Tony's ingenuity and resourcefulness on full display. While Tony battles the drones, Natasha Romanoff and Happy Hogan take the fight to Justin Hammer's headquarters. Their mission: to disable Ivan Vanko's control over the drones. Happy, armed with nothing but brute force, engages in a comical yet intense fistfight with a guard, while Natasha demonstrates her elite combat skills. She infiltrates the facility with precision, disabling security systems and taking out guards with ease. Natasha hacks into Vanko's network, regaining control of Rhodes' suit just in time to aid Tony in his fight. The scene balances action and humor, showcasing the dynamic between the no-nonsense Natasha and the clumsy but determined Happy. Their success shifts the tide of the battle, setting up the final confrontation. With Rhodes back in control of his suit, he and Tony team up to destroy the remaining drones. The battle shifts to the skies, with the two heroes displaying seamless teamwork. They dart between explosions and collapsing structures, their suits gleaming under the night sky. Rhodes, armed with Hammer's modifications, provides heavy firepower, while Tony uses his agility and advanced tech to outmaneuver the drones. The aerial combat is thrilling, with narrow escapes and synchronized attacks. Despite their differences, the two prove to be an unstoppable duo. The sequence builds tension and excitement, leading to the inevitable face-off with Vanko himself. Ivan Vanko enters the fray in a massive, upgraded suit of armor, complete with his signature electrified whips. His presence is imposing, and his hatred for Tony is palpable. The battle is brutal, with Tony and Rhodes struggling to keep up with Vanko's overwhelming power. Sparks fly as Vanko's whips clash with Iron Man's repulsors, illuminating the battlefield in a fiery spectacle. Vanko taunts Tony, blaming him for his father's downfall and claiming the Stark legacy as stolen. The emotional weight of Vanko's vendetta adds depth to the fight, making it more than just a physical clash. Despite their combined efforts, Tony and Rhodes are pushed to their limits, forced to think strategically to outsmart their foe. Realizing they can't match Vanko's strength head-on, Tony and Rhodes devise a risky plan. They coordinate their repulsor blasts to create a massive energy surge, a move reminiscent of their earlier clash at Tony's party. The strategy works, overwhelming Vanko's armor and leaving him vulnerable. However, Vanko reveals a final, sinister plan. His suit and all remaining drones are rigged to self-destruct. With time running out, Tony races to save the civilians, using his speed and ingenuity to minimize casualties. The tension reaches its peak as the explosions ripple through the expo, lighting up the night with fiery devastation. Tony narrowly saves Pepper Potts, their reunion marked by relief and newfound appreciation. As the dust settles, Justin Hammer is arrested for his role in the chaos, his smug demeanor replaced by panic. Ivan Vanko, defeated but defiant, meets his end in the explosion, his vendetta consuming him. Tony and Rhodes, battered but victorious, share a moment of camaraderie, their friendship strengthened by the ordeal. Pepper, overwhelmed by the night's events, resigns as CEO, reaffirming her desire to focus on her personal life with Tony. The resolution brings a sense of closure, yet hints at the challenges that lie ahead. Tony, now revitalized and more self-aware, reflects on his journey, embracing his role as a hero with renewed purpose. In a private debriefing, Nick Fury discusses the events with Tony, revealing their larger implications. Footage of the Hulk's rampage plays in the background, hinting at the interconnected world of the Avengers Initiative. Fury praises Tony's heroics but deems him unsuitable for the team, citing his volatile personality. Tony, ever the showman, negotiates to remain involved as a consultant. The scene showcases Tony's wit and charm, setting the stage for future collaborations. Meanwhile, Senator Stern, forced to present Tony and Rhodes with medals for bravery, delivers the honors with thinly veiled disdain. In the New Mexico desert, S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Coulson arrives at a mysterious crater. The camera pans to reveal a large hammer, its surface etched with intricate runes. The scene teases the arrival of Thor, expanding the Marvel Cinematic Universe and hinting at the interconnected stories to come. The discovery of the hammer leaves audiences eager for what's next, solidifying the post-credit scene as a hallmark of Marvel's storytelling.